Today we're going to talk about the first round on your drafts, the best way how to pick it both on the 9cat format and the points leagues format. Also, I'm going to be mentioning some sleeper locking takes as well. And today we have no other than D Mac joining us. Such an honor for me. So welcome, D Mac.
Thank you, Leo. Thanks to be on the show. I've watched your show from a distance, and it's great to be on the show with you.
Oh, it's a pleasure of mine, 100%. For more context, if you don't know him, you were wrong. If you're part of the fantasy community and don't follow him, please do. So let's jump right into the content today.
Absolutely.
So let's see how many names we have the same and how many names we have differently. For me, first pick, first round, it's a no-brainer and it's not Wemby. For me, it's Jokic.
Yeah, interesting take. I guess in the 9cat community, the consensus top 2 is Jokic and, of course, Wemby. And I think in a category situation, Wemby does have, I guess, the upside with the amazing blocks, even with the steals. And I guess there is movement. There's potential for him to move up as well. More minutes. His minutes were quite under control last season. I think he can jack it up to maybe even mid 30 minutes. So the potential is just tremendous with Wemby. So slightly different. And I know that Jokic is fantastic in a points league, but I prefer Wemby at number 1, which, you know, Jokic is not a bad pick. They're probably a 1A and a 1B. But for me personally, I'm taking Wemby.
Amazing. I see that is a really popular pick, like Wemby at the 1 in points league as well. And I think the main reason is exactly what you just said, the minutes, right? Because I think he averaged like 28 last season, something like this. It was under 30, 100%. And he can go to 31, 32. And if he does, what is going to look like, you know, like the upside is there. And I get why people are taking him. But for me, the main thing about Jokic is that he never gets injured. Of course, last season he did, but he never gets injured. You already know that the way he produces is really safe. He's really safe. He doesn't leave the ground, you know, and he gives you assists, triple doubles, and he is very durable, very consistent. And Wemby, there's always you're scared, you know, if he plays 35, his body's gonna, I don't know, handle this. And
that's the thing. And his minutes were capped at 29 minutes per game last season. Nikola Jokic was at 35 minutes per game. But like you said, he doesn't have a tremendously athletic game to it. He's pretty safe. He actually played one extra game than what Wemby did. 65 games in the regular season last season compared to Wemby's 64. Various reasons. We knew that Jokic was injured as well. But yeah, I think even though Jokic is now past 30 years of age, I still think he's a very durable player, very safe number 1 pick, Leo.
100%. Second pick. So let me guess. Your second pick, is it Nikola Jokic?
It's Nikola Jokic. You got it.
Okay.
Who's your second pick? Yeah.
Take a guess.
So is it Wemby or is it?
Yes.
It's Wemby.
It is Wemby. So yeah, basically what I've just said, right? Like Wemby for me is somebody that his upside is crazy. But for now, I prefer to take Jokic at 1. But yeah, the same thing, right, for you?
Definitely 1A, 1B, no-brainer consensus top 2.
Yeah. Okay, so far so good, but on the top 3, I think we start to disagree more because my top 3 for points leagues, especially in the locking format, it's a no-brainer, and I would never consider to take anybody else in the 3. It's Luka Doncic.
Luka. Yeah, I love Luka, and I think he's got a tremendous upside again. With the Lakers, he's obviously the leader now. No LeBron James. Austin Reeves is his running mate as well. So that's going to be a fantastic 1-2 punch. But I can see Luka. Spoiler alert, he's at number 4 for me. But my number 3 is actually SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And the difference there for me is because of the efficiency. In category leagues, we love efficiency, whether it be field goal percentage, which he's a lead at. It's high volume, but it's also fantastic field goal percentage. But free throw percentage as well. Both high volume, wonderful percentages. That boosts him up ahead of Luka for me. The counting stats are probably not as impressive as it is for Luka, but it's that efficiency gain for me that puts him slightly ahead of Luka.
That's exactly what you mentioned. Efficiency for us in points leagues, it doesn't matter. So that's the main reason why I really don't get why some people are drafting Shai, even top 1. I just recorded a video on a mock draft. Shea went at 1.1. For me, it's crazy. For me, there's
That's
no world where he can go at 1. I don't know if you agree with this.
Yeah, and I don't play many points leagues, but I do know that I'm not taking Shea at number 1. I've probably got obviously Wemby, Jokic, Luka, probably Giannis ahead of him, to be honest.
My pick 4. So that's a spoiler
Great
as well.
segue.
So, but let's jump on what you said about efficiency. Let me ask you from the bottom of my heart, why the 9cat guys, they love so much the efficiency, and why do you not move everybody to the points league? It's way more fun, man.
I think having the efficiency just adds that extra level of intrigue as well. And I think we spoke about it offline. Those that just jack up shots, they're actually not always going to be great for your team. Yes, great volume, high usage, but not always fantastic in terms of a category league. But SGA is high volume, but efficiency as well. And that's why I've got him at number 3. MVP as well. You can't really deny that. So top 3
MVP,
for me,
right? Back to back. So
back
that's
to back MVPs. Yes.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, you mentioned about the 4th pick, and for me, my 4th pick, and also it's really clear in the points league, especially in the locking format. It is Giannis. It's not Shea.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense. And I think a new team this season, different situation, playing under Spo in Miami as well, I think will be a lot better than how he ended things in Milwaukee last season as well. Very frustrating for him, probably frustrating for the franchise, frustrating for us fantasy managers that had him rostered as well. But Giannis is a fantastic pick at number 4 in points leagues. For me, in category leagues, I'm probably not touching Giannis in the top 6, which is somewhat controversial, and some would say that's insane.
That's crazy.
But
when I started, oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I would just say that when I started searching for content, and I saw like your mock draft, for example, and Josh Light's mock draft, and I saw that Giannis was going to 7, 8. I was like, what are people doing? Like, then I started to know that there were like a different format, 9cat with efficiency. And I said, oh, I got it right now. But for me, it's crazy to not see Giannis in the top 5.
Correct. And I think there's, for me, 2 factors as well. In categories, it's more difficult. And I've had experience with Giannis, and I've had somewhat being successful, but it's more difficult for me to build the rest of my team because we're looking at building, looking at potentially punting in categories. And for those that haven't been playing categories before, please look into it because it does add that extra nuance in terms of how you build a team. It's not just the best player or the highest usage player, but it's quite a nuanced skill as well. But Giannis, for me, not number 4, but Luka. Going back to Luka, high volume, fantastic player, one of the MVP candidates for this season. And again, like I mentioned before, no LeBron, which will help him. It's his team. It's him and Austin Reeves. He's fantastic. He puts up a tremendous counting stats. And in terms of efficiency, field goal percentage is great. Turnovers will hurt, but I tend to punt turnovers anyway in categories. And free throws, for some reason,
I was going to ask you that. I'm sorry to
cut
you, but I'm going to ask you exactly like this. Like, do you take this into consideration when selecting between player A and player B? For example, in the first 2 rounds, do you just select the best player? Or do you say, okay, for my punt strategy, I don't know, I tend to punt turnovers. I tend to, to punt rebounds. So I'll take A or B, or you do not do this.
I do in terms of turnovers. There's no other build that I go into a draft thinking I'm going to punt this category straight off the bat. Unless you're stuck with Giannis and you're punting free throws. High turnovers tend to mean that they're a high usage player and they're a great player. They're probably an MVP level type of player as well. So for me, turnovers is an automatic punt. I disregard those. If there's 2 guys that are very similar, perhaps I'll consider turnovers. But again, the higher the turnovers tends to correlate with higher usage, which also correlates with more counting stats.
Makes sense. So 5th pick in the point side, I would say now's the time. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. For me, is a lock. 1.5. Yeah, Shea.
That seems right. And we spoke about why the top 4 are probably the consensus top 4 in points leagues. My number 5 is probably, I'm not sure exactly where he is on your list, but my number 5 isn't Giannis, as I alluded to earlier, but it's actually Cade Cunningham. I think he's tremendous in points, but also in category leagues. And the reason why I haven't gone Giannis is, again, because I just prefer not to build around a punt free throw strategy straight off the bat. I will lean into a punt later on, but not in the first 2 rounds. I like to draft quite balanced And that's a personal preference. And I've just had more success over the years just having a more balanced team rather than going into a full hard punt straight off the bat. So Cade Cunningham allows me that flexibility, but it's also the elite assists, which is something that you think about in terms of categories. It's statistical scarcity. How many elite assists are there throughout the draft? There's not that many. So if I can get those elite assists early, I'm going for it. And Cade Cunningham provides that in spades.
Oh yeah, Cade is amazing, and I remember that he was labeled as like an injury-prone guy. I remember that everybody said, but right now nobody mentions this anymore, right? Like Cade is a
No.
healthy player all of a sudden.
Yeah, and it was probably not that long ago, maybe 3 seasons ago, but people were considering him to be a bust as a number one pick, as a bust.
Yeah,
And
I
that
saw your
was
post.
crazy talk.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, I saw. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy talk. I think he showed inefficiency early days as well. And turnovers are high again and again. I do disregard those. I punt those. And when you do punt those, for those that do play category leagues, you turn it into an 8 category league. He moves up the board. But you pair that with the statistical scarcity. He is a young guy, so he's a lot less, in my opinion, less injury prone than the likes of Giannis. For me, he's a solid pick 5.
In the 8-cut format, what's the category you disregard?
Yeah, so that's just automatically no turnovers. So 8-cat, no turnovers. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Less common than 9-cat. I tend to play with an 8-cat mindset anyway in 9-cat.
Okay, I got it. So you asked about where Cade was in my list. So there he is, 1.6 in the points league. I think exactly everything you just said. I think Cade's amazing. He is moving up the board year by year. I remember that 2 years ago he went on, I think, on the second round, late second round of points league, and he was like one of the biggest steals in the draft. And actually, I drafted him and I traded him for James Harden. But James Harden was amazing as well. So it was like a win-win situation.
Yeah, exactly. And again, solid pick in points leagues and category leagues. I remember I drafted him in his rookie season in the 80s as well in categories. That hurt me just because of the inefficiencies. The shot wasn't there. The field goal percentage was low, but now he's a lot bigger. He can get to the rim. He can finish a lot better. He's learned his craft. But also he's able to get.
He's being a double machine, right? With assists. All of a sudden, last season, like 15 assists, 12 assists. I was like, okay.
At times last season, he looked unstoppable. Easy top 5 dynasty. And again, different sort of format, but dynasty talent, absolutely a top 5 lock.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Now, 7th pick. For me, he's being undervalued. Jalen Johnson. For me, he's a top 7. Arguably, he could go before Cade. I wouldn't be mad at that. But Jalen Johnson, especially in locking format, he's somebody that can blow up on a night, give you like 60 fantasy points, and that's why I would be prioritizing him if I was on the middle picks. Let's say Jalen Johnson, I really, really, really like him.
Yeah, so we didn't go to a pick 6, and I just wanted to say, and we've spoken about him at length, but my pick 6 was Giannis. My pick 7 is actually Jason Tatum. But going back to Jalen Johnson, I've got him a little bit lower, and we'll talk about that later on in the show. But tremendous value in terms of points league. He does everything. He's the face of the franchise. There's no more Trae Young. He is the guy, and we saw that last season as well. But what I did notice is that when guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker stepped up, his game faded just ever so slightly, and it was very slight. Therefore, I have bumped him down towards the back end of the first round, but still tremendous pick in terms of points, but also in categories.
I think that's the main difference between, for example, a regular 9-cat and a regular point leagues for a locking format, because I agree with you. When Nickeil stepped up, he slowed down, let's say, but in the period of 1 week, he will give you that big game. So that's the main thing in the locking format, because you can lock this score and you'll be golden, like in your 1-to-1 matchup. He can guarantee you the win. So that's why I value him so much.
Yeah, it's the perfect example of the high upside. We saw it with CJ McCollum. He was there, took some of the usage away. But when CJ McCollum's not going well, and he's quite an old man now, that's where JJ will step up. And I like it for those locked-in formats as well.
Okay, so we're now in the 8th pick, and for me, to be honest, I wouldn't be really comfortable picking in this range. I think this season, it's very favorable to the ones who are picking early,
Mm.
Why? Because for me, the 1.8 is Tatum. And Tatum may be a make or break guy because we all know he got back really well, really strong. He gave us amazing logs, amazing scores, but we don't know is he gonna be durable this season? Is he gonna handle the whole season? I'm not sure. So I don't know. Who do you got?
Yeah, I had Tatum at 7, and I have similar concerns as well. And I think there's going to be rest days. And he looked really solid coming back at the back end of last season. Coming into this season, no Jaylen Brown. So we expect him to pick up a lot of usage. And he hasn't played
Yes,
without Jaylen Brown
that's
probably
true.
forever. And it'll be interesting to see what this looks like. The usage is going to be sky high. So just for that fact, I've got him really high, similar to what you do. But it's one of those make or break situations that you did mention that perhaps Boston are quite cautious, and depending on how the season's going, if they are quite successful, some of those maintenance days may be a little bit more regular than we would hope. But having said that, we see that with so many players and so many teams anyway.
Yeah,
So I'm still comfortable getting him sort of in those mid to late part of the first round. So you've got him at 8, I've got him at 7. I'm comfortable with that.
100%. I think that's exactly what you said. He never played basically without Jaylen Brown, and his upside can be scary. I'm here for it. He can finish the season in the top 5 per game stats.
And I think so. And I mentioned this on my show last night that I think there's sneaky value with assists. And we've seen it before. He can just out
That's
of nowhere,
true.
7, 8, 9 assists.
Yeah.
I can see that happening this season. I think he can be more of a facilitator, not just the scorer. The defensive stats aren't going to be super elite, but it's everything else that he does. Plus, in terms of categories, he is efficient.
And in terms of rebounds as well, I felt like he came back wanting to grab more rebounds. I think he was so consistent last season, getting double doubles. And Gavin, I don't know, I may be wrong, but I think he had like a night with 15 rebounds or something like this, 13. Crazy. Like he wasn't so consistent when like back when he didn't get injured. But right now, I don't know, something clicked.
And it's a good point with the rebounds. Nemej Keita, I expect him to still be the starting center ahead of Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson can gobble down those rebounds, as can Keita as well. But I think their games will allow for Tatum to actually come in and take those rebounds as well. So there is that upside as well. So great all-round player, very consistent.
And in the ninth pick, who you got? Let's start with you this time.
We're going to flip it around. I like it. I'm going Ant. And typically, I haven't gone Ant Edwards in
no
the
way.
first
It's the
round
first time
ever.
we are coinciding.
We've agreed,
yeah?
have we?
It's the first time that we have the same player. I'm sorry
We
to
have
cut you.
agreed
But
on number
you can
9.
proceed.
Okay, Ant Edwards. So I think not only is he fantastic in terms of usage, I think that even having LaMelo Ball, yes, maybe the usage comes down, but the facilitating, taking the pressure off him, he's going to have a lot of open shots with LaMelo Ball alongside of him. I think that's going to help his game, not just in points, but even in categories. A lot more, I won't say completely open shots, but maybe less contested because the gravity of the defense has gone to LaMelo and he's just opened things up for Ant. So it's very exciting, those two playing alongside of each other. I can't wait. And I think it bodes well for Ant Edwards' value this season.
I wouldn't add anything else because I can't wait. I think it's one of the pairs, the duos that I'm really looking forward to see because I think it's gonna be really fun. LaMelo and Ant. And of course, we don't have LaMelo in our top, in our first rounds, but I think we're going to start seeing LaMelo more healthy all of a sudden. I think he will be more available, which will make him more interesting for fantasy.
Absolutely. We saw LaMelo actually had quite an injury-free season last season.
True.
Lower level of minutes, which probably helps him stay on the court, I guess, play more games. Off the court, I think things have settled down for him in his personal life as well, which bodes well for him with his longevity. But also the off-court stuff isn't really distracting him from his game.
Yeah, somebody that we can mention. I don't know if you guys comment and like this video so much, we can bring more shows and talk about LaMelo and some other steals in the draft. I don't know.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
So in my 10th pick, I have somebody that I'm not seeing a lot of people putting him in the first round, which is Alperen Sengun. Who you got?
Yeah, so I've got Donovan Mitchell, and I do like his Sengun, but Sengun in categories is a lot further down the list because of the inefficiencies.
True. I think Sengun is somebody that I was always seeing the draft and I was like, why he's going the third round or something like that. What's
Yes. But
happening?
then you look at it from a points perspective, he's elite. He's absolutely fantastic. And I think maybe Fred VanVleet coming back this season could take away some of his assists, but he's still going to have great opportunity, a better facilitator. I mean, Thompson did a noble job last season, but he's not a true facilitator. He's not a true traditional point guard. Having Fred VanVleet run the show could actually help Şengün get a lot more easy shots at the rim. So that could bode well as well for his overall fantasy value. The assists I expect do come down, but overall I think he's going to be unaffected.
Yeah, I think his protagonism, let's say, is growing like year by year. I think he's feeling like more like the guy, let's say, in Houston. We all know that Kevin Durant is aging. He's not gonna be like of course he's elite, he's still being elite. And I think his efficiency is elite for 9 cats, and he's better in 9 cat than points league format. But definitely, the guy of the franchise, it has to be Şengün. I know that he has a lot of haters in Houston. He cost some games in like with stupid turnovers in the end. But me personally, I really like him. And I know that him, Iname, and Amentopoulos, they have to step up. They have to be the faces of the franchise, right? So I really rely on him. And Donovan Mitchell, what do you think about his pairing with Harden? I don't know. Do you think he's going to sustain a high level productivity? Because last season, it was like a bounce back season for him in fantasy. He did really well.
Yeah, huge bounce back. And we did see that once Harden did come across for the trade with Darius Garland, that things were a little bit more shared. I would expect Donovan Mitchell, he is still the alpha on that team. So I think James Harden actually takes a hit this season. But I think Donovan Mitchell can maintain that really high level. There's a chip on his shoulder. Cleveland really underperformed. For me, I think they're still in that title window, that championship window. So I think a lot is predicated on him being successful. His success, him staying on the court longer, I think that leads to winning basketball. Therefore, I think he can still maintain close to that first round value. But it's a safe pick for me, close to the end of the first round.
And I can't agree more because my 11th pick is Donovan Mitchell. Who do you have?
Number 11 for me, Jalen Johnson. You spoke about him.
Okay.
We probably don't need to mention too much more about him. Great player, franchise number 1 star for the Atlanta Hawks. Again, just slight dip because of CJ McCollum, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but also the efficiency that you mentioned. It would be lovely if you could get above 80% from the free throw line as well.
And I guess like his 3-pointers aren't like really good in 9 cat, right? Like you should expect your first pick to help in the like all around categories, let's say. And his 3 points are not really good, I think.
Yeah, it's actually a net even. It's in terms of categories, and we talk about Z scores and the weighting and the percentages and those types of things. It's actually a net neutral. So his 3-pointers at 1.7 3-pointers per game. It's not terrible and it's not good. It's not helping you, but it's the overall efficiency that we're probably lacking at this point in time.
Makes sense. Now, to close it all out, I have a name that, to be completely honest with you, I'm not really sure if I'm going to be keeping him if we do another show later on. But right now, I have Trae Young.
Ooh,
who do you got?
Ooh, that's spicy. I've got another spicy one. Rookie of the Year, Cooper Flag.
Okay.
And I just posted this on Twitter and we spoke about it briefly. And again, if we do come back to this show later on, we'll monitor and we'll look at this progress. But Cooper Flag, for me, I think we saw at the back end of last season, elite numbers. We have Kyrie Irving coming back this season. So maybe that assists him with his efficiency, but maybe that takes away his usage as well. I would expect the usage to drop a little bit because he was the guy. Cooper Flag was the number 1 option. I still expect him to be pretty much 1A or 1B alongside of Kyrie. Again, Kyrie is not the most healthy of players either. So Cooper Flag will have a lot to do. I still expect the Mavs to struggle somewhat this season. I don't expect them to contend for probably a few seasons. But I think Cooper Flag, just his overall game is suited to both points, but also category leagues. It's the volume. I think he just looks tremendous. For me, he's a top 4 dynasty prospect, top 12 in terms of redraft.
100%. And I guess like if Dallas, if they're not developing Cooper Flag, what they're doing, like that's right. They have to develop him. They already know that they look a trade thing. It didn't work out, so they have to restart and regroup. Let's start from scratch. And this goes by, and this passes by This passes by, this go by. Like Cooper Flag being the guy, this passes by, go by.
Yeah. Well, for them to be
Yeah.
successful, it has to go through Cooper Flag. You're
Go
exactly right.
through, yes.
It has to go through him. So the ball's going to be in his hands a lot. Kyrie Irving is also going to be doing a lot of the facilitating as well. So I think Cooper Flag is going to have that running mate, which will help his game. He'll learn a lot from Kyrie, which will be great. Going into season 2, the world is his oyster. I think he's a tremendous player already, and he's only 19 years old.
100%. And talking about Trae Young, I don't know, man, how he's on the 9-cat format, but on the points league, if he can stay healthy, of course, he's been a healthy player. We all know that last season was really weird, really shady, but he's always been a first rounder in the points leagues. And I don't think he will get less protagonism in Washington. We all know that there are more people there. There are like Dibanza, there's Anthony Davis, more people
That's
to
the big
fit and to step up. But he will be the main facilitator. I can see him having like 15 assists, for example, night in, night out, if he wants.
Yeah, and in your format as well, I think that's tremendous. I think the highs are going to be really high, and he's going to have those games where he gets just a crazy number of assists. But in terms of 9-cat, that value is somewhat reduced. He's not overly efficient, great from the free throw line, but the field goal percentage hurts you. The turnovers hurt you as well. Again, I don't really care about the turnovers, but the field goal percentage does hurt you as well. But again, it's the elite assist that I look for. So I bump him up a little bit in terms of my rankings. I think he can be a second, if not a third rounder in category leagues. And I can see him being definitely a back-end first rounder in points leagues.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I know that on 9-cats is not that valued. But as we mentioned, I think he will be moving in my board, maybe going down, maybe replaced by Cooper Flag. I don't know. Maxi as well is a name that I talked about on one of my latest shows. That he's a guy who is more value in 9-cats than on the points league, especially in the locking format. I think he get a hit, but we don't need to get through this right now because people they have to show us they like the show, and we can talk. We can discuss more about another players later.
Yeah, well, Maxi was at number 8 for me. We didn't go through too much detail about him, but I think it's the efficiency, and you spoke about him. The efficiency is tremendous, even though the usage is going to come down. So, yeah, solid first rounder still, but probably closer towards the back end. I've got him a little bit higher than what some probably would value him in category leagues, but I can still see him being valuable in points leagues as well, Leo.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know how big of a hit he will get, like in his production, his usage, because he was the guy in Philly last year. Now you have the myth of the healthy Joel Embiid. You have Jaylen Brown, who is really healthy. You have LeBron, who tends to play a lot. I'm not sure. I think on the locking format, he will be dropping a lot, and I wouldn't be comfortable with picking him in the first round.
Nah, not for points. And I think we're relying on the efficiency, just really boosting him in terms of the categories. And again, I could change this. I could have him probably closer to 12, maybe even outside the first round. But for now, I've got him at number 8.
So this was our first round, wrapped and done. You had the points league perspective, the regular points league, the locking format, the 9-cat perspective with the specialist DMAC, who, again, thank you so much for joining us. I know you have like some closing words, but again, thank you so much. And also tell people to subscribe to my humble and small channel, please.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Leo. Absolute pleasure being on your show. Love your show anyway, Fantasy on Points, and I can't wait to share the love. For those watching along, if you are interested in category leagues, and I'll be doing some points league content as well, follow along at all things at NBA Fantasy Bible. But it's been an absolute pleasure, Leo.
Thank you so much. I really hope to see you here more often. Huh?
Oh, definitely.
Thank you, guys. So make sure you sub to my channel, to his, on Twitter, on everything. So thank you so much, and see you next time. Okay.
Nice, Leo. Well done.
I think
that's good.
We went great, right?
Yeah,
we worked pretty well.
Yeah, good synergy. I like it.
Yeah, man.